Hello and welcome to Harvard Plays. Thank you for joining with us this week. We are looking at Rogue Legacy, which is a game that took over my entire week. It is a really strange design that you just can't put down. And it's a game that I have a lot of problems with, to be honest, but I also enjoy it a lot. So let's take a look at a few runs, see how this works, because as the title suggests, it's a roguelike, or it's actually one of the first games that earned the title Roguelite. But it actually is really different because of the way the progression works. It's not quite like anything else I've played. So let's have a go. Let's see what it's like. My duties are to my family. This is just the intro cutscene and the tutorial. But I am loyal only to myself. And then we come straight into this. It's this nice little sepia tone tutorial dungeon, and this is just a regular platformer kind of game, right? You just walk around, jump on stuff, you attack, and you've got a really nice, large attack animation, so it's going to be very useful in this game. Everything is pretty destructible. Every room's going to have a few objects which you can break to get gold, and that's going to be really important. Soon you'll develop a habit of just breaking everything you see, because that's how you earn gold, that's how you progress in this game. Okay, we can go through these platforms, very simple. All stuff you've seen before. Of course, they know how to attack, I'm just breaking stuff, and here's our first enemy. Now, it's a big dude, and got not a very long telegraphed attack animation, because you'll see it'll do that swing kind of like us. And we just hit it twice, and we should be over. And everything here is destructible. We want to get as much gold as we can. I'm pretty sure that this gold in the tutorial goes to our account, so it should be fine. Just make sure we're still breaking everything. It's a great game if you like breaking things. There's a lot of breaking things in this game. This is a bit of a contentious mechanic. There's a down attack, so it reminds me a lot of Hollow Knight or Shovel Knight or Legend of Zelda 2, where you're meant to attack downwards and you can hit enemies and open platforms. It's not very consistent in this game, you'll see, because the animation is very quick. So sometimes you'll hit what you're looking for and sometimes you won't. I don't use it very often, I don't find it that useful. And that's all the controls you need to know. Huh? I don't remember this bit. Huh. I don't know why I forgot that was in the tutorial. I don't know what that means. Anyways, here's how the game works, right? You start here outside the manor, and it's very reminiscent of Castlevania. Everything's set inside this big castle. You've got a practice dummy, so you can have a few whacks at it if you want, and it will call you out in the little health bar at the top. And that's a good way to get a sense of how much damage you do, and you can also try out your sub-weapon, your skills here. My one for this hero is the dagger, so you can throw things at a range for 10 MP. And you just want to head right in. Every dungeon is built randomly based on a certain set of criteria, and so every run is theoretically different. This is a teleporter, so you can jump around the castle quickly, and it's actually quite a big space. I would say the space of this dungeon is around the size of... I don't want to say it's the size of the Symphony of the Night dungeon, but it's big. There's a lot of stuff in it. Here you've got your little journal desk, and that gives you a bit of lore of the game. Journal entry number 1. Treason! An assassin has wounded my father, the king. To bring order back to the kingdom, he has sent my siblings and I on a quest to save him. Together we will venture into the Cursed Woods and enter Castle Hampson. This cursed castle has stood on the edge of the woods since time immemorial, but rumors say that within it dwells an item which will cure any ailment. Tonight I will get a head start over my brothers and sisters and set forth on a quest while they lay asleep. To fail this quest would be an embarrassment to my name. So you get little notes from the prince because he's the one who's gone through this castle before, and he's experienced the weirdness, so he can teach you a little bit about how the mechanics work. But otherwise you can see that there's this map here of how it works. If you go upwards, you'll get to the tower. If you go to the right, you'll go to a forest, and at the bottom you go to a dungeon, and it's 3 distinct areas of the game. Alright, let's go. So, like I said before, break all the stuff. You want to amass as much gold as you can in your run, because you'll see you'll die very soon, and that gold gets carried over. So you just want to spend the first few runs of this game making as much gold as you can. And I'm gonna get hurt a lot. This is a game that has a lot of sneaky traps, like this room. You'll see that here on the ground there's these little holes, and they give spikes if you walk over them. Now we really want that chest, so we've got to figure out a strategy of how to get to that chest without getting hurt. My first instinct is to do some jumping motions. Open the... Ooh. What did we get? We got a stat boost. We will have our strength increased, and this is a permanent increase, by the way, so every run of this game will have a permanent stat boost. Now we've just got to jump our way out of these spikes without getting hit. And go. Go. Yes, we did it. I would have normally gotten hit, though. Yeah, so this game has a lot of traps and a lot of devious things to make you lose health and to end your run quickly. You're not going to beat on the first go, or the second go, or the 30th go. It'll take you a long time. General 2. Although I am the eldest child, I am not my father's favorite. I have always known he planned to leave me with nothing. Oh. But if I find the cure, everything will change. The victor will earn nothing less than the throne upon his passing. Upon my ascension, my wife and my children shall move back into the royal quarters, back into the royal city, where we will once again be treated with the respect we deserve. No longer will we stand for the gossip and petty slander of my cousins. The other dukes shall bow as we pass, but I am getting ahead of myself. I must keep my priorities clear. Conquer the castle, find the cure, collect my reward. This sounds a bit tragic. I feel like there's gonna be a twist. I actually haven't beaten this game because it takes forever. This room, you need to defeat all the enemies to open this fairy chest. You need a certain spell or ability to do that, and I don't have that on this character, so we're gonna move on. Everything's gonna make sense when I die and I show you how the respawn rerun mechanic works. Until then, though, we're still trying to get as much gold as we can. That's good, that's good. Chicken will restore health, as in classic Castlevania fashion. And we've got some enemies in this room, we've got to work through them. First one is this painting there that's a little wobbly. It'll hurt you if you hit it, and you're meant to attack it before it gets you a bit. You know, I'm very bad at this game. The hitboxes, by the way, for your characters are huge. They are enormous, and so it's very hard to dodge any kind of projectile attack because you'll just get hit by it really easily. Okay, chests are always good, gold is always good. And, oh, look at that. Hitboxes are enormous. And I died. That's embarrassing. So, yep, especially in the early game, you have no health, you have no good stats. Enemies take a lot of hits to defeat, and they deal a lot back to you. So, you'll die very easily. And so you get sent back to the title screen, and you get to choose your heir. And now we get to talk about what makes this game so interesting. So once you die, you get 3 characters to choose from to run another random castle, and each one is going to have its own characteristics that make it unique. First one is Lady Nola, so it is a spellcaster. Every kill gives you mana. Dyslexia means you have trouble reading things. I don't really know what that means. I think it just means when you find a diary in the castle, it'll be a jumble. And Hypochondriac, you tend to exaggerate. I don't really know what that means for gameplay either. But the spell is a scythe, and that goes in a diagonal upwards, and that's really useful. This one, a mage, ADHD, so you move faster. And you have IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome. I don't know what that does in game, but I'm not sure if I want to find out. And the spell is the axe. If you played Castlevania, you know exactly what this does, right? It goes in an arc, and it's super, super good because it can hit enemies from all different sides and angles. And the last one is a knight, standard hero, good at everything, has gigantism, so it's a very big character. And EHS, which means you conduct electricity very well. I have not seen where that becomes relevant, but also I guess the axe. So I think I'm going to pick this one because I like the idea of getting MP and throwing more axes. This is going to get me a good run. And you'll see this develop out as you play, but at the end of every run, I'll move my face so it's actually visible, you can buy lingering upgrades. And these will help you get stronger and progress further throughout the game. The first one we're going to get is this... Okay, well that was awkward. We accidentally skipped that store, so we didn't buy anything. And unfortunately we need to go into the castle without any upgrades. The other downside too is that all the gold we earned, the 180 gold, to enter the castle, you've got to give this guy all your money. So it's as if we didn't do that first run in the first place. But it's okay because we're going to make way more money in this run. So much more money. Mostly because the axe is a really good spell. Alright, let's go. There's always a couple of objects in the first room for you to break, so you can get a little bit of gold, and look how fast I'm moving. That ADHD is really helping out. Now, you'll notice that as a mage, you get really small HP pool. I actually only have 50 max HP, which is good enough for about 2 or maybe 3 hits. But the good thing is, because the axe allows me to fight from a range, I don't need to worry about that. These guys attack from a range, and they can attack from off-screen too, so they're very easy to hit you. But we can always just axe them and we'll be fine. Okay, those guys fire fireballs. Contact damage is a mess, and look, we have 10 health left and we only cleared the first room. What are we doing? Why is this happening? Okay, these are the guys from the tutorial. They can only swing in melee range. I don't want to get down there because I'm going to get hit, definitely. I've also wasted all my MP for the axes, so I have to make some kind of contingency. Alright, we have no MP, we have 10 HP, and we're about to die. This is a dangerous room, because then the bottom ones will shoot back upwards. Okay, okay. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set a little death counter in the bottom right, just to show like average lifespan, or whatever it's called. It gets better, it definitely gets better. So here's our upcoming characters now. We've got Lady Sonya, who's a knave, a risky hero, low stats but can land critical strikes. At the early game, kind of the worst character. By far the worst, because crits are useless. It happens at like 10%, and it doesn't help you. Flexible, I don't actually know what that does. And Conflux launches things that bounce across the screen. It's really useful. Lady Lena's against a knave and has colorblind, which is exactly as it sounds, and throws axes. And Lady Bear, oh no! Lady Blair is a mage with Gigantism and Vertigo. And her spell is Time Stop. So I'll show you this run once, but I'll never again, because I hate this trait so much. It's my least favorite trait ever. And we're going to buy the smithy. And you see when we buy the smithy, first of all, we can buy some equipment going to the castle and boost our stats, but also we get to buy permanent upgrades like this one, which increases our health, and this one, which increases our mana. We're actually going to be a bit careful with this one, because every time you buy a stat upgrade, it increases your level. And that makes every other purchase on this screen more expensive. And it also kind of makes it more difficult to get the stuff late game that is really impactful. So we're going to hold off on some of these buffs and instead try to unlock the castle. And here we have our little Vertigo thing. I'm going to move my face again because I need to see my health bar. Oh, no one saw that. Haha. So everything's upside down. I don't actually know if that's what Vertigo does to you, but whatever. Our controls aren't inverted, thankfully, but it's a mess. Here we have a little old mate, the smithy. I am not going to read what he's saying because there's no point. I'm just going to explain. He sells equipment to you. Unfortunately, you don't have access to most of it. You need to buy the blueprints, and I think this costs $250 to unlock. They're pretty expensive. You want to save your money up for it. And yeah, but something to work towards. We're going to head into the castle now and have a terrible time. Just the worst time. And our 40 gold is gone. So when I play this in handheld mode, sometimes I actually flip my Switch upside down to play this in Vertigo. But otherwise, this is just a really, really annoying trait. And you would really not want to pick it. But sometimes the other characters have even worse traits, and you're forced to do a Vertigo run. And yeah, it's not fun. I mean, it is, but not as fun. I just use Time Stop, so it stops everything. You get to have a quick go when wailing at the enemies. It's very good on a mage, because it counteracts the mage's main downside, which is that they can't really attack or be near an enemy very much. Alright. So we have 3 out of our 50 health now. We're about to die. And we only have 30 gold. We want to try and maximize our gold intake. So we really want to find rooms like this. Empty rooms that just have stuff for us to break. Yeah, more empty rooms. This is a spell, so you can pick it up and it changes my time stop to scythes. And scythes throw out these 2 things that go upwards. It makes more sense when the screens are upside down. But it's good at hitting things that fly around or float around, like those mages. How do I even get up there? Oh, I hate vertigo so much. Oh, it's so bad. This is a red teleporter. It'll send you somewhere random in the level. We don't want that. Oh yeah, we got the boss room. The good thing about the boss room is that there's these two statues, which always have healing and mana, which is great. And potions restore a percentage of your health. I think they restore 10%, but you can upgrade it. So it's not very much right now. You can see out of our... We used to be at 3 health, and now we're at 8. Thank you so much, chicken. It helped me so much. But boss rooms also always contain 2 treasure chests. So we can get stacks of money right now. We got... This is a recipe for a... I think it's a breastplate. A knight chest. Yeah, that's a breastplate. But it's good. Every little piece of advantage counts in this game. We have 340 gold, which is enough to buy that sword that we saw. And oh, I have to get back up. Oh, I hate vertigo. It's so bad. It's so bad. All right, this is a really scary room with lots of enemies. It's hard to dodge things when things are upside down. And now we're dead. Which is good because we don't need to fight vertigo ever again. Never ever again. We've got Lady Stephanie, which is a barbarian. Has a lot of HP. Ectomorph, which means you're skinny and you get really high knockback from enemies. This is a bad trait because whenever an enemy hits you, you're gonna get knocked into spikes or something bad. And we've also got coprolalia, which is a word that I've not learned before, and it just means you're gonna swear a lot. Every time you get hit, your character is gonna swear. Spells Dagger, which is just very basic. Next one, we've got Knight, Standard Hero. We've got Tunnel Vision. I think that means you can only see a little circular screen. It's pretty annoying. And OCD means when you break stuff, you gain MP from it, which is more useful than it sounds. And you get Chakram as a spell. Chakram is like the boomerang cross in Castlevania. It's very useful in this game. And Lady Chun-Li is a knight, has eidactic, I think what's the word? Memory, which means you remember things with extreme clarity. I don't exactly remember what that does in this game either. The spell is Blade Wall. Blade Wall's a pretty bad spell. It makes this barrier in front of you that hurts enemies, but it's really situational and it's not ranged. So we're gonna go with Sir Taco. We get to use the Chakram. Okay, so now we only want to buy 1 upgrade in each category. We want to get the health, and you'll see this makes the castle a bit bigger. And we could get the mana up as well. This will open up different pathways. We can buy the knights. This upgrades. So this means whenever we pick a knight, it actually is a paladin. And a paladin has an additional skill you can use when you press X. Okay, so now we spent all our gold. We've got 40 left over, which was going to get wasted. We could have also bought this sword, but I guess we didn't decide to. We've got Squire Helm, which increases our health and our mana, and Breastplate, which increases our armor. Equipment is usually much more useful than levels or mana upgrades because you can pick and choose, you can add it onto your character, and it doesn't really get affected by what class you are or what kind of playstyle you have because you can pick and choose. It is, however, at least the early game, a bit more expensive, and then as you start to level up, the equipment becomes way cheaper than your traits. Alright, so you've got this run. Remember what class you are. Remember what your strat's going to be. You want to make out a plan whenever you attack this castle. So we've got Paladin, and we can break stuff to restore MP, so we want to be using our skill a lot, and Tunnel Vision means we have no early indicators. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. What's an early indicator? And we've got our shield now. You just stand still and you take less damage. It's not very useful. I don't use it very often. I guess you could use it against stuff like this, where you can block attacks using your shield. It costs a lot of MP for every attack you block, though. Okay, I'm skipping over a lot of enemies. We'll talk about them as we come. These eyeballs stand exactly still, and they fire a projectile that goes through platforms in the ground, which is really frustrating because it'll fire from all the way across the screen and hurt you real bad. This is a little gauntlet for people who want to break stuff. I kind of want to get that table and chair. Just a table and chair. I'm gonna get hurt, but I want to break it. Alright, let's keep going. You'll see that some characters can't attack downwards very easily, and that makes rooms like this very challenging. Let's keep going. Every character... Oh, wow, that was the worst. Is that all this room is just spikes? What the hell? It's so bad. Yeah, this game has so many traps, and dead ends, and really nasty plots, and... Oh no, we have to jump up this now. I think this might be the end of the run. This is really bad. Really, really bad. You have Grace invulnerability frames, but still, you took so much damage. You took 101 damage. You can see a chest down there. I can hear some kind of menacing, slicey sound effects. So I know there's monsters down there. Let's see. Oh, that's a big dude, and we're dead. And you see, this is why I don't always enjoy this game, is because your run gets cut short very often. Our choices are Knave, Colorblind, Chakram, Mage, Electrophobia. This is really funny. This turns every chicken health upgrade into an enemy that can hit you. And you get Flexible and Conflux. And we've got Knave, Boldness, Clonus, which is random muscle spasms, and Scythe. I don't know what Boldness does except for the loading screen. Okay, I think I'll go for this one. You've got 80 gold and no way to spend it, and so you'll start to see that if you can't spend your gold, if you come to the inn or the manor at around 100 or less gold, you can't buy anything, and you just now got to walk into the dungeon and waste all of it. So yeah, the early runs you want to amass as much gold as you can, just so you can get those upgrades and get a bit further on. Otherwise, your stats are so bad, unless you're amazing at platformers and combat games, then you're not going to get very far. And did you guys notice the loading screen just said, instead of building, it said bolding? Okay. It's too easy to take damage in this game. Your hitbox is so big, it's enormous. And so, it's very likely that you'll get hit just from random projectiles flying around. It's not a game with attacks that are built for to be dodged. It's a game with attacks that are meant to hit you and then give you attrition so that you can't really make your way out of the dungeon without some upgrades. And, oof, I just realized what Clonus Muscle Spasm does. It vibrates your Joy-Cons.
Every now and then your Joy-Cons will just randomly vibrate.
I hate this game so much sometimes. Alright, so let's break some tables. Let's keep going. It's really funny because there's actually no controller vibration in this game at all, except for this one trait. Oh, it's so stupid. Alright, so we've got a adventurer that gives us a chance of a lifetime. For the measly sum of 25% of your gold, I'll give you the chance to open one of 3 chests. One will triple what you paid, but the other 2 are empty. I always pick this, always, because getting a huge sum of gold at the end of a level is way better than getting a mediocre sum of gold. So even if I lose, you stupid, so stupid. Even if you lose, it's still fine, because you had the chance to win, and isn't that what matters in the end? This is terrible life advice, by the way. Don't do that. I'm only doing this because it's funny. And this is the main thing that's kept me playing this game for so long, is that Rogue Legacy is one of the few games that's genuinely comedic through its mechanics. A lot of games are funny because they've got jokes in it, and a lot of the time I find that's quite cringy because sometimes the jokes just don't land, right? And you just think like, hey, it's not that funny. But Rogue Legacy has funny situations. It has funny rooms, it's funny castle floor plans, and just interesting emergent scenarios that just makes you laugh. And I think that's really good, the way that the game manages to do that and stay fresh after hundreds and hundreds of runs. Most of it, however, is definitely done because of the cheapness of a lot of the enemies and the traps, but hey, what are you gonna do? Got a chest here. There are mimics in this game, but not in the first level, so you can safely open everything. Got 375. Oh, we got boss, and we died. Boss does 44 damage to me, so I get hit twice by it. That's really, really bad. Lots of deaths. We've got Mage with his Coprolalia and Flame Barrier. Flame Barrier has like rotating fire around you that you toggle. It's not very useful until you have huge MP stores. Otherwise, it just lasts for half a second and it's not worth it. Knave with CIP, congenital insensitivity to pain, no pain. This is a really bad, a really bad trait because your HP bar just becomes question mark and you don't see how much health you have left. And mage, flame barrier, and no traits. I'm gonna go with the knave. And we've got a bit of gold to work with. I might get the equip up and then go and buy the sword. It also opens up, so the more upgrades you get, the more you open up the castle and the more things you can get. The architect allows you to lock down the castle, and that means that it doesn't randomize. You just run the previous castle that you died on, but you get a reduced money bonus or something like that. It's really good if you want to practice. And Enchantress will give you magical spells or runes for each of your pieces of equipment that boosts various statistics and stuff. We'll buy that later. I just want the sword right now. Having the sword is actually a big deal. We get an extra 7 damage to attacks. That means that enemies that used to take 3 hits now take 2. Enemies that used to take 2 now take 1. That is a huge game changer because it means you have so fewer chances to get hit because you just kill the enemy before they kill you. And you can see my health bar is just a little blank. I don't know how much health I have. I have no idea because I have insensitivity to pain. It's really bad. It means that I'll just die out of nowhere. Right, lots of traps. This room is dangerous. Spikes on the top, spikes on the bottom. You gotta run. I'm not gonna go for that money, it's a trap. This room seems pretty safe, just a skeleton. These skeletons are also straight out of Castlevania, the exact same attack patterns. And I like to think that a lot of this game is a homage to that series. So much of the skills, attacks, jokes, enemies, everything is pure prime Castlevania. And these zombies too, straight from Castlevania. They don't spawn infinitely though, but the way they move, the way they appear, same animations, it's very nostalgic to me. I was thinking actually, one day I might do a retro review of the first 3 Castlevania games, and talk about how that they've basically influenced nearly every platformer that's come out after them. They're so influential as games, and the design aspects are really cool. I know that lots of videos have been made about those 3 games already. I just think that maybe I can link them to something modern, you know? Maybe I can talk about indie sensibilities and design principles and stuff like that. This game's design principles, a lot of it does come from Castlevania. But there's also other stuff. There's this teleporter, for example, is key roguelike territory. Being sent somewhere random in the game's world is just... it's so chaotic, I love it. It means that most runs of this game are going to be unsuccessful. You're going to die a lot. And because of the progression, it's kind of satisfying. I'll talk more at length about it later because I think that the patterns in which the game does its progression means that you never stop playing. You always want to go immediately on a run after you finish a run because it's just the way it is. You get given a reward and you can't use it until the next run, so you just want to do another run. And before you know it, you've played this game for 4 hours straight and you've not made any progress. Alright, I think what we'll do is we'll do runs, we'll get stronger, and we'll try to beat the first boss. And if we can beat the first boss, then I might leave it there, because this game is still quite big, it takes a long time to beat. And I want to leave some of the surprise, because there's so many little things. I feel like I've played this game for almost 10 hours, and I still haven't seen the... Whoa! I hate that trait so much. I still haven't seen all the variations in the different rooms on the first area. Not even the first area, so there's so much to see here. The other thing I like is that you get parting words. Sometimes they are little advice for your next run, and sometimes it's just like a joke. The funny thing is, if you have Coprolalia, where you swear a lot, the parting words is just a bunch of swears. It's really funny. So here's why I don't like the game's core loop, right? Is because when you die, you press A to move on, and now you have that goal that you earned, but you need to immediately choose an heir first. So before you can even spend that gold, you've got to pick who you're going to do your next run with. You can either go Barbarian with Scythe, you can go Barbarian with Stereo Blind, you can't see it in 3D, this is really funny. Coprolalia and Blade Wall, or you can go a Knave with Colorblind and Scythe. I'm going to go Barbarian with Scythes. And now we get to spend our money. So maybe we will get the Enchantress because she allows us to buy runes, and that's a really good long-term buff for us. We can get really cool things like double jump and vampirism and just really good traits. And here we've got 2 upgrades. We can upgrade our mage to make Archmage, which is able to... Archmage is able to swap out its spells, and it's actually quite useful because you can pick whichever one's best for the situation. And we've got magic damage up. And we can also go for the Architect. I'm not going to get any of this. I'm just going to go straight for my equipment. So now I've got our Enchantress here. Let's see if there's any runes here. I'm just going to skip all of it. Yes, we do. We have the Sprint rune for our sword. It's just a dash. And we've got our double jump rune. Oh no, I can't believe I spent that money. I have to buy that on my next run. Double jump is so much better than the sprints. Yeah, you can do this dash. The dash is really, really situational. I basically never use it, but sometimes it helps you get a chest. And we might as well just get our helmet, some extra health. Can we afford anything else? No, we can't. Let's just go. But you see already, these buffs are going to make this run way easier. And now I have 195 health, 57 MP, and I have a sprint. So theoretically, I should be able to do better than last time. Hopefully. The sprint's kind of good for getting across like spiky rooms because you can reposition. But you'll still get hit a lot. Double jump would be way more useful. These guys that look like Ghastly from Pokemon, they do a little charge into you, and sometimes they'll go back, they'll pause, they'll wait a random amount of time, and they'll just charge really fast. So they're easy if you have your full attention on them, but otherwise they can get you. And the way this game works is that it fills the room with enemies. There's just stuff flying at you from every direction, and so you get hurt because you're not able to adequately address everything. You don't get hurt from the individual enemies, you get hurt from the fact that there's so many around everywhere. And I should have been using my sub-weapons. That would have made the last room easier. These Ghastlies are really hard to deal with. The fact that I can go through the walls is what makes them hard. And I definitely notice this. All the enemies are designed in a way that make them quite likely to hit you at least once. It's not a game where you're meant to dodge every enemy attack like in Dark Souls or whatever. It's a game where you basically get attritioned down until you can't survive anymore. Got 2 great chests here. Look at that. Oh, so much money. 600 gold. I can buy so much of that. Here is the entrance to the boss of this floor. We are definitely not strong enough to beat the boss of this floor. So I'm going to go around, see what else we can find, and once I have a decent amount of money, I will show what the boss looks like at the very least. So it's also been a while since I fought the first full boss. I get a sense of what strategies I'll need and what upgrades I'll need to bring in. And what kind of characters I'll need to pick. So this is the tower area. You'll see the enemies are way stronger here. Those little starfish things now fire in 8 directions, and yeah, I can't handle that at this level. There's no way. So let's wuss out and go for a different direction. Whew. This is where our dash can be useful, because we can just do this. That was so much less cool than I thought it would look. But yeah, the intention is to skip the spikes by dashing. Oh, we're gonna die. We can't die, but we're going to. We can't. I want the chest. I want the chest so bad. Alright, we got it. 880 gold. I think I can die happily after this. So let's check out this room. Is it good? Oh, good chest. Chest. We get a knight helm. That's great. I can't trust myself to not die on these enemies. That portrait's not a ghost, so maybe. Alright. Good. And we get some chicken. Alright, this is a very good room. Okay, let's check out this first floor boss and see what they do. So, it's the theme of an eyeball, like it's very big. It's called Kider, I don't know, man. But we've got spikes on the left and right, so it's very hard to deal with that. So you have no space to dodge, and it just fills the screen with these little projectiles. The best thing to do in this boss is to have a character that's very small and has ways to attack upwards. So Axe would be a very good skill for this fight. What are our options? Barbarian with Dagger, Paladin with Boldness, Savant. Savant is... I can't remember what it does. And Blade Wall, which is a weird spell. Paladin, Stereo Blind, OCD, and Blade Wall. Let's go with this one. And I'm not going to spend any of my gold here because I'm going to get my equipment. I'm going to buy our... Ooh, Night Helm. Yes, I do want that. We've got armor on breastplate. I want to save that money because I want to get my double jump first. That's a huge priority. I want to get that first. Alright, so now we've got our Vault Rune. We've got 300 left, so we can see what else is good here. This is for magic. This gives us extra magic power. It's not as useful. I tend to forget my spells exist sometimes, so I don't get the most out of that. But hey, we've got to spend it somehow. Okay. So Blade Wall is only really useful to make this thing, and you can see it barely does any damage, but it's good against enemies that will just walk towards you because you hit them a few times with it, but otherwise not great. You also just want to cheese this game, so your hitbox is actually big enough to hit things on top of that platform, and you want to basically make the most of that whenever you can. This is a secret platform. You can see the color of the ground is a bit different than everything else, so you can jump down and find a chest. A chest. Yeah. There's lots of secrets. A lot of the secrets are not accessible without certain character traits though, so you'll learn to spot them. You'll learn to recognize where you want to be jumping up and down, hitting walls, stuff like that. Okay. So, these enemies are pretty hard to deal with in small spaces because you've got to jump their projectile, but then you fall down to the pits with enemies. I don't actually know how complicated the seeds are for these rooms, but they seem to be quite well designed. There's interesting challenges in each of them. It's never just like mindless, go through, kill the enemies. It's always designed in a certain way. They're probably going to get hurt some way from it. Alright, this room looks super evil. Look at all those spikes. We can check on the map to see if there's a chest in there, and we can't see that there is, so we can just skip it. Sometimes the map will actually loop back across itself, so you can skip the rooms that are the worst. Okay, this room's not great. Gonna kill the Ghastly. I don't know what it's called. It's gonna call it Ghastly. And got a chest. 504 gold now. That's decent. Enough for us to get something on our way back, and I'm being very careless with this. This game's quite unforgiving in that you'll take a lot of damage, fast. You don't get a lot of chances, and it's really hard to heal. The healing only really comes from the chickens that are super rare drops, or from vampirism, which is very slow. Alright, so we can head downwards, and here is the Land of the Darkness. These are dungeons. Really, really hard zone. I wouldn't recommend doing this until at least you beat the first boss. It's interesting that the game does make it available from the beginning. Technically, you could beat this game without ever respawning a single time, and I think people out there have done it. It's just really hard, and why would you? To prove your skill, I guess. Right. Double jump is very useful in these super vertical rooms because it's often, you'll hurt yourself by trying to jump on platforms individually, but if you can bypass them, it's very good. And every room is technically completable without any upgrades. They make them so much easier sometimes though. Yeah, there's Lost Ghastly. The cool thing about the, this 2D vision, oh, now I'm dead. Can't even explain it. The 2D vision is that, when things turn around, they actually flip on their axis. It looks really cool. Okay, I think we've got a good deal of gold. Let's see if we can get a build that might be able to take on the boss. We've got Lady Marie, which is Knave with Scythe, Lady Winry, Paladin, Coprolalia, Gigantism, and Blade Wall. Paladin, Hypochondriac, Endomorph, so it can't be knocked back, and Blade Wall. I think this one is probably the best one. We've got some gold, so we can upgrade a few of our things. I do like getting the Architect because it's a cheap upgrade and it allows us to get some things on the left side of the castle. Here we've got Barbarian King. Barbarian King is quite good because it gives you a knockback. You also get attack up, which is useful. And now that we've got these two, outdated Skyrim reference. We've got Shinobi, which are, it's an additional class. So once you pick this skill, Shinobi will start appearing in your descendants. And Shinobi have really strong basic attacks. Magic up is just more damage on the spells. It's alright, I guess. Okay, I think we'll just head in. Wait, no, I made a mistake, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I've wasted 240 gold. Yeah. Okay. And here's the Architect. The thing of the Architect is that if you choose to use him, you get only 60% gold, but the castle is exactly the same as the last run. So if you know where the chests are already, you know where's safe, you know where's dangerous, then this helps you out. Because you see, you even have the map. And, oh, so the chests actually stay opened, which is bad. I don't usually use the Architect, and now I realize why. This is really only for if you had a run and you were like, wow, I was so close to killing that boss. I see one more go at it, and yeah. Might as well give us a chance to go to the rooms in this castle that we didn't go to last time. Let's see what we can make of it. Okay, so this is a fairy chest room. It's got a lot of enemies, and once we kill them all, we get a rune as our reward. It doesn't actually give it to us. We need to... It allows us to buy it from the shop in a future run. But usually these rooms are very hard because they've got so much crap flying at you. I've got a sneaky poster here that we just get rid of, and good. We get a haste rune. It's not very good. Haste rune just increases your movement speed. It's the same as ADHD, but whoa, but with equipment. And so you can equip 5 runes at once. You can see on the bottom left, I've got these 5 little dots, and it shows my dash and my double jump. It's interesting because it means you can make builds that fit the character that you were given based on your descendants. And ultimately, you get a lot of choice. Before you even set foot in the castle for your run, you get to really mix and match with your equipment, your abilities, your skills, your runes. You have a very different run each time. And the playstyles actually vary quite hugely based on... I just realized... Based on what skills you have. I just realized what Hypochondriac does, and now I can't show you because I'm 1 hit away from dying. But it makes your damage numbers from attacks really, really big. So instead of taking like 19 damage, it took like 19,000 damage. It's really funny. Okay, I'm feeling very dangerous right now because we've got only 11 health. It's good though, we get some health, we get some mana. Oh, we want to get the hell out of there. And the hell out of here. Let's see where we can teleport to. What? Where is the boss then? What the hell? So I guess we're going back where we came from then, because we've opened up just about every room that doesn't lead to one of the scary floors. Is something upwards? Oh, the chest up there. Oh, but we'll die because... Oh, so sad. Alright, let's keep going. How much gold do we have? Oh, we gotta do our trades first. That's the thing, you want to spend your money, but then you're like, oh, I have to pick a character first. Barbarian King, Dwarfism, and Blade Wall. Paladin and Dagger. Mage, Stereoblind, Hypergonadism, so attacks knock back enemies really far. This is the best character by far. Chakram is a really good skill, and Hypergonadism, I can't believe I'm saying this, is a really good skill to have. Let's spend our money on the magic damage up. I think once you get the Archmage upgrade and the Shinobi, then it'll unlock even more traits to buy. Alright, let's keep going. The exclamation mark means we've got the haste rune from last time. We can't afford that though, so it's fine. And dungeon randomizes again. So all the chests should be back, which is great. We can earn some more gold from this run. Okay, I've got a good feeling about this one. I've still got a good feeling about this one. Chakrams are really good because they go to the end of the screen if you don't catch it. So what I usually do is I send it out and then I just let it fly off in the other direction. It can go through walls, it goes really fast, it's a lot of damage, it's a great skill. I am almost dead, I am dead.
Oh, I hate this game so much.
So yeah, that's a wasted run. That's a really bad one because all that gold I just earned is now gone. Okay, maybe we'll do one more. Let's take Barbarian, Queen, Colorblind, Coprolalia, and Axe. Axe is probably the best skill. Or this one's Mage, Electrophobia. No, let's go Mage. Let's go Mage again. We only have 80 gold. We can't buy anything. We just need to waste it and go into the castle. Oh, it's so sad. And we're bolding. Alright, last run. Let's make it count. I try and use my axe as much as I can because as mage, your skills give you MP back. So, your kills give you MP back. So you can just spam your skills as much as you want. And there you have it, the dangerous running chicken that hurts you if you touch it. Of course, if you hit it again, it just becomes regular healing. But you just gotta be careful because sometimes they can just pop out of walls and hurt you for trying to get healed. It's really bad. This, oh, what? No, I'm not satisfied with that. We're doing another run. This is how it happens. This is like, every time, you're just like, oh, this is the last run. And then you have a terrible death and you're like, no, that's not it. That can't be the last run. I'm going Paladin with a dagger. This game is slowly eroding my mind. It's such a good time waster because you're always doing something. You're always doing something interesting. It's enough for you to just keep being strung along. But, oh my goodness, there's no end to it. You know, sometimes with a roguelike, you'll go for a very good run, and you'll be like, oh, I'm pretty satisfied with that. You know, it was pretty good. I got my fix from it. And this game never gives you a fix. You never get a satisfying conclusion because you're always either you have a bad run and you're like, oh, I didn't earn anything from that. I want to earn something. Or you have a good run and you think, well, now I want to spend the gold that I earned and get something out of it. So either way, you just want to keep playing. And so I am still playing. We have a paladin this round, so we've got the shields. It's not a very good skill, but it means our base stats are quite good. We have decent HP and mana pulls, which is always useful. Okay. The overlap between enemies is where the real danger is, I think. That's where you usually get hurt. Okay, let's get this chest first. What were you? Knight sword, nice. So a lot of the equipment in this game is actually just strict upgrades from previous pieces of equipment. And the longer you play, the stronger you get, naturally. We've got a secret here. Thought they can get away from me. Wait, hold up. This doesn't go anywhere. Oh, we've got a chest there. A bounty rune, that's really good. Bounty runes increase the amount of gold you get for each coin. So instead of getting 10 for that, you would have gotten 11. And that adds up over the course of a run by a lot. It really, really helps your gold gains. Okay, we did it. Oh no, what? Oh, I'm so sad. It still doesn't feel satisfying. But I know this is a trap because, how many deaths have I had in this run already? I've had way too many deaths. I'm just gonna leave it here. Man, I feel bad. It's a game because it's stressful, you know? You die a lot. And even if you get stronger and stronger as you go, it's has its toll on you, you know? If I kept going, I feel like I'd be here for 4 hours. I'm gonna leave it here, but Rogue Legacy is usually on sale for very cheap on everywhere. I think this is on like every platform. It's definitely on PS4. It's definitely on Switch. It's definitely on PC. I don't know about Xbox. I'm assuming it probably is. You know, you can get it anywhere. It's really good to just pass some time. You know, it's a game that's more of a lifestyle game. You can play a couple of runs every day. It'll take you maybe a month to finish. It's long, and it's got a lot of varied levels to it. And honestly, it's the kind of game that hooks you. You know, if you want something that's gonna make you feel that rush of dopamine every time you beat a run, then yeah, this is it. Alright, thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys next week.